Thanks for coming. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That, I think we'll all agree, is plenty. We have a fantastic lineup of comedians for your entertainment enjoyment this evening. Before we begin, let's get one thing out of the way straight away. I'm not like you. I'm British. That doesn't make me better than you anymore. All I'm saying is, 200 years ago, this would have been a very different gig. You'd be getting less jokes from me and more instructions as to what I expect you to do tomorrow. Be basic land work, nothing you can't handle. All I'm asking you to understand that though this will be fun this evening, for me it is also imbibed with a real sense of loss. Now, I would like to issue a warning to all of you, a very serious warning from the heart. Look deep into my eyes. Look deep into these eyes, because there's no nice way of saying this. You are looking into your future. Empires die, America, and this is what happens to you. It's not pretty. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you people. 1 second, you'll be running the entire known planet. You'll look away for what feels like nothing more than a decade, glance backwards, and the only thing your country is left with is voicing a gecko. Laugh now while you still can. Because I guarantee you, in 20 years' time, you're going to be on Chinese television selling them car insurance dressed up like a squirrel. Oh, I'm a f***ing squirrel. Oh, who wants 15% off their car insurance? Oh, watch the tail, I'm walking here. I'm walking here. Get me a coffee, I'm a squirrel. Oh! The only American accent I can do is a foul-mouthed squirrel from Jersey. I don't know why that's the case. I just know it to be a fact. It's been strange living in a country that is proud of itself, that has national pride. As a British person, we don't really have pride in our country anymore due to the terrible things we've done in our history. It is hard to look at the British flag waving in the sky without thinking to yourself, we waggled that around in some very awkward situations. Our national anthem doesn't help. It's predicated on a lie. God save the Queen. That has never happened. God has never saved the Queen or any of her ancestors. That's why she's Queen now. In fact, he has systematically wiped out her entire family, and she is very much next on his list. Your anthem, your national anthem is inspirational. It's uplifting. It's something to get behind. Yes, it's one long sentence, but what a sentence. What a sentence. Obviously, you didn't want to take punctuation from us when you kicked us out of the country. Throw a comma in there. What's the worst that could happen? Try a semicolon. You might like it. Even Canada. And God knows they have nothing to be proud of. Even they are indifferent to themselves. Their national anthem is borderline orgasmic. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. Does your daddy know you're going out dressed like that? Oh, Canada. Damn, Canada, damn. There's a tension between our nations. History continues to rise back up and bite us in the face. Oh, there was a new study done about the Titanic recently, and this report found out that more British people died proportionally than American people on that boat, because they discovered that at that point in history, British people were more polite while Americans were, and I quote, more assertive. Well, but don't feel guilty. when you imagine your ancestors elbowing mine out of the way. You gave us a gift that day. That is an honourable death for a British human being. You know, for Vikings to enter Valhalla, they had to die honourably, violently, with a sword in their hand. For a British person to enter British heaven, which exists if you just believe. For a British person to enter British heaven, you basically have to die completely unnoticed without causing too much of a kerfuffle. What I'm saying is thank you. Thank you. Also, thank you. Thank you. I was joking, but I appreciate you applauding anyway. Good. I was feeling slightly guilty, now I don't. The one thing as well I didn't think I would get used to here is guns. There's a big debate around guns in England at the moment, partly over what you can and can't do to a burglar who you find in your home. What would you do tonight? If you went home and you found a burglar in your house, what would you do? Shoot him. Shoot him, said the man, not even waiting for me to finish that question. I was like, shoot him. Obviously, I would shoot him. Do you have a gun? No. No? Okay, well... Then I think we've detected the Achilles heel in your home security system. No, I don't. But I expect him to obey the rule of the playground. Pew, pew! Oh, you got me. Oh, good shot. Wow. Careful, don't burgle him. He's armed to the teeth, that one. Somehow in England, a farmer got hold of a gun, and he was burgled, and he shot this burglar 7 times to the back in self-defense. And it sparked a big debate in England about what you can and can't do to a burglar. It got so bad, the British government had to release a statement saying, you can't kill burglars. You can't kill burglars. Unfortunately, our national press in Britain is even worse than yours. And they ran with headlines such as, you can kill burglars. Which, to be fair to them, was close. But could it have not been that little bit closer? It got even worse when one paper managed to add a misprint to this misinformation when they ran with the headline, you can kill buglers. And let me tell you, that little typo cost the lives of 17 of our finest valveless brass enthusiasts. It was an absolute bloodbath. Every time one bugler got up to play the last post for the previous dead bugler, the mob spotted him and ripped him apart. Ripped him to pieces. He didn't stand a chance. That is the stupidest joke you will hear this evening. We have a fantastic lineup of comedians for you tonight. Please stick around after the break. We will be right back. Welcome back. Thank you for returning. Please welcome a magnificent comedian and give a warm welcome to Mary Lynn Rajskub.
I'm so glad I'm here. Thanks for having me. I almost didn't make it here. I got pulled over for extra security screening at the airport. I know. It was me and an 81-year-old woman in a wheelchair with a cat on her sweatshirt. Oh, we're so dangerous. But now that I think about it, she did look kind of suspicious. But me, what? I didn't do anything. I look like someone who would fight terrorism, you know what I'm saying? What? I mean, I look remarkably like someone who would work at a counter-terrorist unit. So I went over to the special area, and she comes at me with her wand. I'm not kidding you. She goes, are there any sensitive areas on your body? Are you effing with me right now? Is Ashton's gonna come out, right? I'm totally being punked. But, you know, it happened in a split second. I didn't have a lot of time to think about it, so she's coming, and I'm like, what do I say? And I decided to just go with the truth. And so she's almost to me with the wand, and I said, my boobies and vagina. She's like, excuse me? Then I had to commit to it. My boobies and vagina guys, then it's like the exact thing that I didn't want to happen then totally happened. They took me away to a secret room. They started touching all my sensitive areas. They were searching in my orifices. I mean, when's the last time you had to use the word orifice, let alone orifices? I don't want to get into it, but it wasn't nice. And then they put like a picture, you know, like, well, watch out for this lady. She's a pervert, which is total BS. Because number one, I'm not a pervert. There was that one guy who was in defeat. That was an isolated incident. That was not me. But also, girls ain't perverts. Am I right, ladies? What's up? What's up? Whoa. Yeah, guys, take a break. Ladies, we're not doing the majority of the rapings and the killings. Am I right? What's up? Yeah, we can cheer for that. We don't. It's the guys that do all that crap. I mean, we might, every once in a while, maybe go in a car with a diaper on and a gun next to us. But that's because we gotta get that bitch who stole our man. And we gotta focus. We don't have time to stop. We might have to go pee-pee a little bit, and we're an astronaut in a man's world, and we are stressed out. But we're not gonna go through with it, you know? We'll peter out at the end, because we just want to be loved, you know? What is up with these effing bitches? Ladies, take a break. Guys, what is with women? I'm serious. They're always like, are you okay? Like, how are you feeling? What's going on? Tell me what you're thinking. F that, am I right, guys? What's up? Yeah. Then this girl comes up to me and she's like, oh, smell the scented candle. And I'm like, no, I'm busy. I got things to do. And then she's like, check out these sheets. They're 500 count Egyptian thread count or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? Get off my back. And then she comes and tells me, guys, tell me if you back me up on this one. Don't you hate when a bitch is like, oh, better give me a diamond ring if you want to get into that secret garden. Oh. I'm like, you know what? Go down there, shave it bald like Daddy likes, and get ready to make some... I'm sorry. That was weird. I was just channeling this stuff I heard this guy saying. Well, I used to date him, but I wanted to relate to you guys, and I thought that would do the trick. But I don't believe in that at all. I think that looks like a little girl when you... Plus, I'm from Michigan, and and we don't do that, you know? Nobody talked about it, for one thing. Keep it neat, trim, clean, and call it a day, you know? Because you need the protection there. It's like the eyebrow of the lower region. I'm not saying I don't want to be hot, you guys. Don't get me wrong. I do. I want guys to look at me and be like, oh, I just want to grab a piece of that. And I mean, that... I've acted all these years like I'm cool with being, you know, quirky and interesting, but I want to be, oh, yeah. Somebody who epitomizes, you know, like you're in a sports bar, like, let me get that big ball in the hole. I love to play pool. Darts, let's do it. Except for when I get my darts on the board, I want to do it like this. What? Was that sexy? I don't know what you're talking about. Just talking so bad. But the pinnacle of being hot for me would be Fergie hot, you know? Oh, she's the greatest. She has that lip liner, that bedazzled half shirt, the tight pants, and she's like, my humps, and that hair that looks like a Barbie doll from the 70s you could just keep pulling out. Just like, slam her and give me that hair. But I don't know if you guys ever saw that picture of her on the internet, though. Right? I don't know. It was in the middle of a concert. It was like an exciting moment, and she's like a child misses a blanket, and she just hisses her... What happened? You didn't have time to... I'm Fergie, excuse me. I'm gonna leave and go to the bathroom. No. Just pissed it. It was just the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Mary Lynn Rajskub! We will be back in a handful of moments. Welcome back to the show. Please keep that going for the brilliant Kondabolu.
Thank you. We good? We good, New York? Yes? Very good. So, I was at this party last week, and this guy came up to me, and he's like, hey, man, where are you from? So I told him, I'm from Queens, New York. Yeah. But wait. And then he's like, no, I mean, where are you really from? Which, for those of you who don't know, that's code for, no, I mean, why aren't you white? I noticed your skin was a different color than mine. Why? Why this? Why pigment? Why ethnic? Why this? What kind of animal are you? And I was offended, clearly, and I was offended because this man had judged me based on the color of my skin and not by my more important qualities, which, of course, are the softness and smoothness of my skin. Traits I have carefully cultivated with the extensive use of cocoa butter. Yes, Hari Kondabolu uses cocoa butter. Just the other day, I went to the supermarket to get some more cocoa butter when I noticed the cocoa butter had been moved to the ethnic needs section of my supermarket. And at first, I was happy. I'm like, ethnic needs, end of police brutality, more access to health care, more educational opportunities. Finally. No. Just hair relaxers and cocoa butter, apparently. All right, let's get to the pressing issues of the day, okay? The more important issues of the day. Vegan soul food. What the Really? Really, vegans? You dare bring that into the earth? Really? Vegan? That doesn't even make any sense. No, let's think about this for a moment, okay? And what's the history of soul food? Slaves were given the worst parts of the animals, pig's feet, things like that. They had to cover it in lard and spices, whatever they could to make that taste delicious. Soul food is steeped in African American history and tradition. Then you have vegan food. Now, vegans also start with a limited number of ingredients, but arguably what they end up with tastes worse than what they started with. Now, that's arguable. I argue it because it's true. Some would argue otherwise, and they're wrong. Because I have had vegan Thanksgiving of tofurkey and soy gravy. And it's not to say that Thanksgiving will ever justify the genocide of the Native Americans, but vegan Thanksgiving, that's just spitting on the graves, isn't it? Thank you. Now, again, the bigger point here is vegans don't use animal products in their food, and that's a key part of soul food. That is an essential part of soul food, animal products. Therefore, vegan soul food is essentially a heavy metal cover album of Motown classics. Heavy metal is rock music stripped of its historic black elements. It can't properly cover Motown. If I saw a heavy metal cover album of Motown classics, I would not buy it. Unless, of course, the record was called Vegan Soul Food. At which point, it is high concept. And Daddy must have it. Daddy must have it. All right, thank you very much.
We have one more fantastic act for you coming up tonight. Please stick around.
right. Thank you so much. God, look at this place. This is insane. How you guys doing, New York? You good? All right. It is great to be in New York. I love New York City, and I love being here in the autumn. You know, there's nothing like it in the world. And it's so definitive. You can always tell when it's autumn in New York, you know, because the leaves turn orange, and there's a chill in the air, and people are wearing thicker coats and stuff. I live in Los Angeles. You can always tell it's autumn in Los Angeles when the city's no longer on fire anymore. When things aren't ablaze, you know? Like summertime, you're like, oh, August, why do I live here? Like, it's weird when people are like moving there in August and they're like, why is my car on fire? You know, and the neighbor's like, well, it's that time of year. You know, it's about then. This is a little awkward doing a theater like this. I'm used to playing like dive bars, you know. It's not as awkward as the time I had to watch Brokeback Mountain on Netflix with my dads. Stop kissing! You know, it makes me sad though that like the creepiest guys are really, really old, like old gay old men, like really old gay old men. I don't know why I put in so many olds. I don't know, just you know, super old. But it's not their fault. You know, they just don't know how to be or how to act. They can't tell the gay from the straight people. And now that it's not only okay, but like cool to be gay, now they want to come out, but it's like, you know, like you're kind of creepy now. And, you know, they don't know how to be. Like they're hanging out at like 7-Eleven by the weightlifting magazines, like, hello, how are you? Care to look at this with me? I just thought I'd come out for a stroll. Hold me, please, hold me. You can't come out in the 50s, man. You catch a beating, you know? It sucks. The best you could hope for, really, in a rejection way, is some guy and the guy's like, now hold on there, Mary. I know what tickets to what bus you're selling, and I ain't buying. Get yourself back on the Nancy bus, for I give you what for, you know? I grew up in Portland, Oregon, and it's a great, nothing. That was awesome. That was perfect. That was perfect. No. Like, it's a great town, and people are always like, oh, it's so cool there, because everyone wants to move there now. But growing up, it wasn't that cool. It was just a weird place full of, like, burnout hippies and murderous lumberjacks and their kids. You know, it was just a weird place. But, like, you ever grow up with that one friend that's, like, too funny, too young? You know, like, he makes you laugh so hard when you're 11. It's like you felt like your heart's going so nuts. It's like you did blow as a child. Like, stop it. My heart's going nuts. Stop talking. How are you this funny? How are you also 11, Steve? Shut up, you know? But my friend had this amazing scheme, right? He got 6 of us, and he got 6 copies of the white pages and broke it into 6 sections, right? And was like, all right, we're gonna go through these phone books, and we're gonna find the 2 funniest names in Portland and prank the out of them, right? And I was like, that's insane. You're also in the 6th grade? How'd you come up with this? And we went through, we found these 2 names. Now, the first name, obviously not this person's given name, because nobody named their kid Skeletor P. Funk. Okay, that's too amazing. But we flipped out, and we're like, oh my God, and we called him, and we're like, hey, is He-Man a queer? How's Castle Grayskull? You know? And he was unprankable, because he would answer the phone, he wouldn't say hello, he'd just play his bass into the phone. We're like, you win again, Skeletor. But I'll be back. But the funniest name we found, I'll just say this. I've had some hard times in my life, just like all of us, just like all of you. You know, I've lost some friends, I've had some relationships go sour. But anytime stuff gets really bad, I still think of this name, and I at least smile, if not laugh out loud, because it's still the funniest name I've ever heard in my life. And I know I'm building this up, but strap in, okay? And get ready, because that day we found there was someone alive in Portland, Oregon, named Eggly Bagelface. Come on. Come on. Eggly Bagelface? Eggly Bagelface. It's a breakfast name of amazing awesomeness. The kid that found the name passed out. He woke up and slapped his hand over the name, was like, don't all look at once. I'm gonna show you the first name, give you 5 seconds, then show the rest. You're on your own. We called him probably 1 billion times. Don't hang up, Egley, I love you, damn it! I just want you to know that I love, oh God, I love you so much. What a couple of dicks the Bagel Face couple were. June and Roy Bagel Face had a kid and were like, you know what, I hate our son. Me too. Let's name him Satan's Ass Crack or something. No, you might start a metal band. How about Egley? Oh my God! Where'd you get that name? Comedy heaven. Thank you so much, New York.
Braunger! Ladies and gentlemen! Stick around, we will be right back! Welcome back! You have no idea how happy you're about to be. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Brian Posehn!
Hey. It's been a really smart show so far, until now. It's time for Dum Dum the Giant Retard. Take off your thinking caps. It's about to get stupid in here. Gotta make an announcement before I continue with the prepared material. He didn't mention this, but you might know me from the Sarah Silverman show, and yeah. Just so you don't waste your time and mine and come up to me later and think that I can hook you up with Sarah. Like, Sarah will not you. I'm sorry, it sounds weird, but people think this all the time. People come up to me all the time and go, hey man, tell Sarah I think she's hot. Like I'm gonna go home and go, hey, so I was at O'Hare and there was a dude with bigger pot tits than me and his mustache kind of smelled, but he thinks you're hot. So if you want to go to Chicago and hook that shit up, I can give you his email. That will not work out for you. But if you are sitting here tonight or at home and you're thinking, hey, I'd like to get high with a dude that's been on TV all the time, like outside of a comedy venue, like in a parking lot or a park of some sort, then that is an achievable goal. You could seriously make that happen. All you need is 2 things: to ask me and have weed. And we can hook that up. We'll be hanging out in your friend's dorm and you'll be like, tell Sarah I think she's hot. And I'm like, yeah, I know. So this is true. iTunes thinks that I have shitty taste in music. Let me explain. As anybody who has iTunes knows, when you buy something off iTunes, it will then suggest other music based on what you ordered, right? So I've had a good thing going, or so I thought, with iTunes for about 6 years. Order a lot of heavy metal off iTunes because I'm a metalhead. But then, as I also just mentioned, I also smoke a lot of pot occasionally every day. And recently, it was like 3 in the morning, and as the kids say, I was high as and I'm like dicking around on iTunes, and I thought I'd ordered that song Last Christmas by Wham. Remember that piece? Still sucks. If you're sitting around wondering if Wham still sucks, yup, hard. Reason I bought that stupid song is the next day I was going to a metal concert with one of my buddies. And normally when we're going to like a metal show or a movie and I pull up to his house, I'm cranking death metal in my car. So it sounds like a bunch of demons are fighting. Like he hears "Ruh, ruh, 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 ruh," and he knows it's time for us to go enjoy the new Jason Statham vehicle. But this time I pull up and all he hears is man. And he just walks out puzzled. And I'm sitting in my car giggling. And then I get home and now iTunes doesn't know what to think of me anymore. So I've suddenly changed in iTunes' eyes. So his first new suggestion was like, all right. Well, if you liked Last Christmas by Wham, perhaps you'd like Balls on Your Chin. Oh my God. Wow, I thought we were friends, iTunes. Didn't know you're a homophobic dick. Had no idea there was like a mean frat guy living in my computer. Just waiting to bust my balls. Oh, if this homo orders Wham, I'm going off. So I can recognize my share because I stand out, you know, and I've been on a lot of crap and on a lot of good stuff, but a lot of crap too. And but I stick out in a crowd. But what happens is a lot of times people can't figure out where they know me from. They'll be like, God, did I go to high school with this guy, or is he my dad's friend, or whatever? And this happens all the time. This is a true story. I was checking into a hotel in Chicago about 8 months ago. And as I'm checking in, the guy behind the counter is giving me the hairy eyeball the entire time. He's just looking at me like, man, where do I know this guy from? I don't know why he sounds like Dave Mustaine, but he's like, nah. And finally gets up the nerve and he goes, hey man, where do I know you from? And I go, oh, well, I'm a comedian and an actor. And he goes, oh, thank God. And I'm like, well, that's a weird reaction. Like, where'd you think you knew me from? The guy outside your window going, what are you doing? Take off your shirt, bro. Do you think I was that dude? And then finally he says to me, he goes, normally I don't ask people where I know them from because I had something really horrible happen. And I go, okay, well, I know I'm a stranger, but the rule is when you tell a stranger that something horrible happened, you then have to tell the whole story. I like to make up rules. So he goes for it, and he swears this story's true. So he tells me that he's working at the same hotel in Chicago about 3 years ago, and a similar situation happens. A guy walks in with a unique look like me, and he's looking at this guy, and this guy's in his 50s, and he's got those gold plastic frame glasses and an old-timey twirly mustache, like a Pringle stash. He's looking at Pringle stash and glasses and going, where do I know this guy from? Is he like my dad's friend? Is he my professor? Did he go to, where do I know him from? And he finally gets up the nerve and he goes, sir, I gotta ask you, where do I know you from? And Pringle stash and glasses loses it and yells at the guy, O.J. Simpson killed my son. I know. Holy is the reaction you should have. Like I said, I've smoked pot half my life. I've never been more awake than that moment. Like I snapped out of a 20-year pot haze when I heard that story. I was like, oh my God. This poor bastard was talking to Fred Goldman and didn't recognize Fred Goldman. Remember Ron Goldman's dad? And I feel bad for both guys in that story, but obviously I feel way worse for Fred Goldman. Because he loses his kid, which is the worst thing that can happen to you as a parent. Then he has to go through that horrible trial, and now he has to be Fred Goldman for the rest of his life. Unless he loses that crazy stash, he's gonna get that all the time, And I bet you he was more patient originally, like he'd be at the airport or in a mall, and somebody would go, hey man, where do I know you from? And he'd go, it was the long trial, stabby, stabby. Don't fit, must have quit, that whole thing. But now he's sick of it and he'll just lose his goddamn mind and scream at you, O.J. Simpson killed my son. I was like, dude, that is up. That is the most brutal thing I've ever heard. I was like, so what did you say? He goes, what could I say? I was just kind of like, ah. I was like, that's what I would have said. And then I thought about it. I was like, you know what you should have said? Yeah, that's it. Yeah. O.J. Simpson did kill your son, indeed. Sorry about that. Or if you wanted to have an enemy for life, go, no, that's not it. Where else could I know you from? Do you go to the Starbucks on 7? So, this is true. I still talk about being a geek, and my mom, she's been buying me the same stuff since I was a kid. Like, when it's my birthday or Christmas rolls around, I still want the same stuff. I want DVDs and video games. And my mom recently, she was like, am I still gonna be buying you DVDs and video games when you're 60? And I'm like, no, you'll be dead. Or you'll be so insane, you'll walk out with like a sponge and go, happy birthday. Oh, thanks, Mom. So this is true. I haven't been on the road in a lot, and I haven't been out here because I just had a baby about 5 months ago. Yeah. It's very nice. You don't have to clap. We just did it from anybody can. You can do it too. It's totally easy. I was just surprised, like when my wife told me we were having a baby, I was like, wow, that's awesome. You're gonna make a great single mom. So, I might lose you here. Normally I try out all my jokes on my wife, but not this one. I masturbated while my baby cried. Yeah. The people that are clapping, you're f***ed up. It's not what you're picturing. It's not like he was in the same room as me crying while I'm masturbating, because that would be horrible. I'd be a horrible parent. He wasn't even on my side of the house. He was on the other side of the house, and he didn't know it was daddy time, you know? But he's crying, and I'm just like, shut up, because only daddy can cry while he masturbates. It's kind of a house rule. It's not written, but it's a house rule. So I talk about masturbating a lot, and because I love it. And a lot of male comics, a lot of my friends are also married guys, and they talk about masturbating a lot. Because when you're married, it's all you got. And but some friends of mine think it's weird that I never fantasize about other women, or I didn't used to. I never used to fantasize about other women because, and I know it sounds corny, but my wife is the fantasy for me. You know, it sounds, but it's true. Anyway. No, she's beautiful. She's the fantasy. But then together, you know, we've been going out for 13 years. So now part of me, it's like, what else is out there, brain? But I feel too guilty if I think about other women. I always feel like I'm cheating, you know? So now I like to pretend my wife is dead. Again, you guys are ahead of me. No, it's like in my head, it's been a whole year, you know? It's not like it just happened. I'm like, like an entire year has passed, and there was like 6 months where my friends are like, man, this is really pathetic. You got to leave the house. And I'm like, boo-hoo, I miss my wife. And then they finally get me back on the horse, and now I'm like crazy. You know, I'm on top of a moving train, and it's on fire. I'm some girl, and Megan Fox is there. But I'm not having sex with her, and she's like, why am I even here? And I'm like, to prove a point, not everybody wants to f you, Megan Fox. And I have a huge and a flat stomach, because if you're gonna fantasize, go the whole way, right? You guys have been awesome, man. Thanks.
Brian Posehn, ladies and gentlemen, Brian Posehn! Please show your appreciation for all the comedians you see tonight. Thanks for watching. Please consider viewing us again next time. Good night.